It's like, who's watching the Kardashians? Hey guys, welcome. Welcome. This is a long-awaited episode, and by long-awaited I mean a week, because we postponed it. This is the Book of the Month episode for March. Put your hands in the air and clap and cheer, because I know you were all waiting earnestly for this one. So, let's just dive right into it. As a reminder, and yes, I finished this one. I know at the time of the episode I did not finish January's. No, February's. I did not finish February's, but I did read this one in its entirety before I'm here giving you a review on it. So, as a reminder, our book of the month for... No, it had to have been January's that I didn't... Right? It was January's, because February was this month. I don't know. Okay, listen. Whatever. It doesn't even matter. Okay. So, the book for February was Vampires, Hearts, and Other Dead Things by, once again, I did not look up the name. I think it's Margie Fuston? Fuston. If you look up the title, you're gonna find it. This is what it looks like. It's really cute. And I did really like this one. I'm going to give you a little bit of a summary of it, but first things first, spoiler alert, yes, I will be talking about things in this book that will spoil it for you. Just letting you know, let's get that out of the way real quick. And the other thing is, I'm going to give a little bit of a content warning for this one. I feel like I do this all the time, but I feel like I don't want to go in and talk about these things that are heavy subjects without warning you first. So... the main thing, yes, the book is called Vampires, Hearts, and Other Dead Things, which implies that it is a vampire book, which it is. But the main theme of this book is actually grief and loss. And more than that, it's anticipatory grief, which is a whole other kind of brand of grief. So just to tell you up front, that is what this book deals with, and we are going to talk about it a little bit. And also, spoilers. Her dad, this is not really a spoiler, you find this out in the first 20 pages, I think, but the main character's dad is dying of cancer. So, as someone who's had family members pass away from cancer, I understand if this is a sensitive subject, so I just feel like it's remiss of me not to put that out, at least a little bit, before we start talking about it, so there we go. Okay, so... the book starts off with us finding out that vampires are real. There's some vampire guy who goes on television, it gets interviewed, and he reveals that vampires are real and they live in the shadows and whatnot. Okay, basically he outs them is what he does. And he's a vampire himself, and so he kind of talks about what it's like and whatnot. But he's a little bit secretive about where they congregate, what they do, that sort of thing. And then eventually, a little kid ends up dying, around where this real vampire was discovered, right? And so they go back into hiding. Well, our main character, her name's Victoria, her and her dad are obsessed with vampires. She loves everything to do with the vampire. She's seen every vampire movie, read every vampire book, she's obsessed with them, okay? And so when she finds out that her dad has cancer, and it's terminal, there's nothing more they can do for him, she decides that she is going to go to New Orleans and find a vampire to save her dad, essentially. And she is, I don't think they say this explicitly, but it's implied, she's a senior in high school. She's just about to graduate and just about to go to college. And so it's her senior trip is how she frames it. She's going on her senior trip to New Orleans, but really she's going to find a vampire. And she enlists the help of her best friend Henry, spoilers, former best friend. They had a wee bit of a falling out, but he's the only one she can trust. So she enlists his help, and together they travel to New Orleans in search of this vampire. And without giving too much away, she meets someone who she suspects is a vampire. And he will not turn her without her first completing a series of tasks to prove that she deserves to be immortal. And I'm not going to spoil how that ends because there is a wee bit of a twist ending. But that's the plot, is essentially she's trying to find a vampire to save her dad. Okay? This is where the spoilers come in. A couple of things. I feel like it would have been really easy for the author to make the vampires just straight up not exist. There's a little bit of a twist with the vampire situation, but it would have been really easy for her to just be like, oh, they're not real and blah, blah, blah. And so this whole like build up to her finally becoming a vampire and knowing for sure that this guy's a vampire or whatever would have felt really cheap, I think, in the end, if she hadn't leaned into the vampires being real thing. So I'm just going to put that out there. That is one thing I really liked about this book, is that the author honors that. And so the payoff that the audience is waiting for about the vampires, because you as an audience want them to be real. Like, that's just the truth. And that's how it's painted. And so I feel like the author does a really good job of making that happen while still making the point that, like, grief has to happen either way. Like, you have to, losses are real. Like, you have to accept loss at some point. And so, or you have to deal with it at least. Maybe you don't have to accept it, but you have to deal with loss at some point. And it's an interesting dynamic, I think, to take for this idea of like anticipatory grief, because it is very reminiscent of what it does feel like for people when they know someone's going to die and they can't do anything for them. And just that not wanting to give up and having to come to terms with, there's nothing more you can do. And it is a different process, anticipatory grief, than like sudden grief is, because coming to terms with the fact that someone's going to die as they're still alive is just is a different process. That's just the truth. Not that any one is better or worse or harder or easier or anything, but it is a different kind of experience to know someone's going to die in advance. And so I think the author does a really good job of using this, I don't want to call it a metaphor, but it's almost a vampire metaphor. This idea of like chasing healing, chasing like this ability to save a loved one. And that is very real for people who are anticipating a loved one's death and wanting to do everything they can to help them live, essentially. So I really appreciated that aspect. I think the author does a good job. For all like intents and purposes, though, it's not really a heavy read. Yes, it discusses grief. Yes, I mean, like, it discusses loss and everything. But the book is written in a way that it's a very easy read. It's not shoving it down your throat at every second. And it is more, I would say it is even more so about this main character finding an ability to move on almost, and finding like a desire in her dad for her to move on. And that's really important for her and her grief journey and everything. So I really like this book. There's not a lot that I didn't like about it, except that there were times when it dragged and then it sped up and then it dragged. And the pacing was just a little weird for me. I didn't love that. There were also times when I didn't like the main character. But I'm not going to sit here and say that's a bad thing, because I think she is more or less realistic. And just because I sometimes didn't like her or her decisions or anything like that doesn't make her a bad character. So I'm going to preface that with, she's not a bad character just because sometimes I didn't like what she was doing. In fact, I think that's kind of what makes a good character in a way, is that they do make decisions that you don't agree with sometimes. And that's just kind of a part of writing a human being in fiction. Anyway, so I really like this book. I thought it was a good read. It was an easy read. It's fairly short. I think it's like 300 pages. So it's like 320 maybe. So it's really not that long. And it's cute. There's a little bit of a romance. It is fun to be like, is it really a vampire? Is he going to turn her? Like, that's kind of fun. I enjoyed that part. So I think I'm going to give this one a 3.5 stars out of 5. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. 3.5 out of 5. But yeah, I have mostly good things to say about it. Oh, you can't see it here, but I'm a spine breaker when it comes to paperback books. And I know that's like sacrilegious. I do 2 things that I know are like kind of sacrilegious in the reading world. I dog ear the pages and I crack the spine immediately. Like, that's the first thing I do when I read a paperback book is I like take it and I crack the spine. Don't come for me. Anyway, so let's move on because we get to do, sorry, my microphone's falling a wee bit. We get to do one of my favorite things to do every month, which is open a new book. And I say it every month and I'm going to say it again. This says number 2. I promise it's for March. I double checked the paper. Okay, we're just all out of order, remember. Let's read the thing first, because I don't think she gives away what the book is in, at least she hasn't so far given away what the book is in the note. So let's read the note first. I'm so excited about this. I need like a drum roll. Look at this cute little skeleton on my card. Yeah, my thing is falling like crazy. It's fine. Okay. Oh. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, so this is what it says. We've talked about this one before. I think you'll like it. It's very fun and twisty. Also a very unique psychological view of a serial killer with no remorse. Okay. She says we've talked about this one before. Right off the top of my head, I'm not piecing together which book this is, but let's open it and find out. She said serial killer, so there's some murder involved. I needed like a little like fancy letter opener thing to open these with. Oh. Okay, do you think I know what this is? Okay. Okay, I have talked about this one with her. Oh, I'm excited about this. Okay, first of all, love the bright green. That's cool. Okay, this book is, a drum roll, please, for Book of the Month for March. It is You'd Look Better as a Ghost by Joanna Wallace. This is what it looks like. Oh, I'm really excited about this. Should we read the... Here, I'll read the back of it to you. It says... I have a gift. I see people as ghosts before they die. Of course, it helps that I'm the one killing them. That's crazy. The night after her father's funeral, Claire meets Lucas in a bar. Lucas doesn't know it, but it's not a chance meeting. One thoughtless, mistyped email has put him in the crosshairs of an extremely annoyed serial killer. But even before, Claire takes him home and carves him up into little pieces. Something about that night is very wrong. Because someone is watching Claire. Someone who is about to discover her murderous little hobby. Hold on, my computer's sliding. Okay. The thing is, it's not sensible to tangle with a part-time serial killer, even one who's distracted by attending a weekly bereavement support group and trying to get her art career off the ground. Will Claire finish off her blackmailer before her pursuer reveals all? Let the games begin. I'm looking forward to this. This is one that I think has been on my TBR for a while, so I wanted to read this one. This is going to be fun. It's a very different vibe from the one we just read. So I'm looking forward to this. Again, it's called You'd Look Better as a Ghost by Joanna Wallace. Okay. Wow, that's so fun. And you know what I'm going to do as soon as I start reading it? I'm going to break the spine. Don't at me. All right, anyway, let's move on. Okay, last week, just kind of for funsies. Okay, I'm just going to hold my microphone up. Anyway, everything's falling off. So sorry. We took a wee bit of an intermission to fix my microphone. As you can see, is not falling down anymore. Anyway, last week I had a wee bit of an impromptu reading of reviews for Serial, which was both funny, in my opinion, and also a wee bit educational, because apparently they changed the recipe for the Cinnamon Toast Crunch and now it contains red dye 40. I already consume enough like microplastics and stuff that I'm less worried about that. But the one thing that did pop up a lot in those reviews was that people were using Cinnamon Toast Crunch as a bulking tool. Like that's what they were eating to like bulk, like for fitness. And because if you know me, you know I'm on a wee bit of a bulk myself right now. And the thing I'm really struggling with is getting my carbs in. I was like, let's just get some Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I'll eat a bowl before the gym every morning and that'll be my carbs. And so not only did we get Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but we got the big box of like 2 bags from Costco. And I know I said I'm not really a fan of cereal, and that's true, but maybe like I just haven't given it a fair shot because I kind of really like cereal now, I think. Now, I still think it's just straight sugar, usually, and that's not like my breakfast preference, but as a little snack, yeah, it's pretty good, actually. And I don't know, a lot of the reviews were like, it tastes different, it's not nearly as good as it used to be, and it's got red dye 40 in it. I did not taste a difference. Now, again, I can't remember the last time I ate Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but it didn't taste that different to me. It tasted just like I remember. So I really don't know what to say about that. Down below, tell me what cereal I should eat next. This is my review for Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It gets like a 7 out of 10. It's really good. The only thing I don't like about it is that it like, I don't know, when it like mixes with the milk, half of it becomes squishy or like mushy and half of it stays crunchy. And that's just kind of a weird, like, it's just weird. Like, it's a weird texture, I guess, to have both of them together. So don't love that. But yeah, let me know what cereal should I try next. I don't have a lot to say other than book of the month this week. There was something I wanted to like give you guys an update on or something, and now I just straight up can't recall. Like, I just straight up don't remember. I know one thing that I wanted to bring up that I was talking about, like, either on stream or before stream or something like that was, because I brought up in one episode hold on, let me rephrase. One episode, I brought up the fact that I don't understand Snapchat Plus. I don't understand what it's for. I don't understand who's using it. I don't understand who's paying for it. And so I got into a conversation about streaming services and the fact that you pay for a streaming service and you still get ads. And I think that is the most annoying shit I've ever dealt with. Like, that shit drives me crazy. Disney Plus is notorious for it. I think Silver was the one telling me that now, even if you pay for the most expensive level of Disney Plus, you still get ads. It doesn't even fucking matter. That drives me so fucking crazy. That drives me crazy. I remember back when Hulu was free if you watched ads for your shows. And then it switched to, oh, well, you can only watch stuff if you pay for it, but you have no ads. They do not need more money. They do not need more money. Netflix in particular is like, they're the ones that keep raising their streaming like prices and everything. And you don't need it. What is Netflix even worth? Hold on, I'm looking it up. $370 billion that company's worth. That's crazy. That's insane. Oh, apparently their stock just crashed, though. But here's the thing about Netflix that drives me fucking crazy, is that they keep releasing like first seasons of shows that do really, really well, and then they get canceled. And they replace it with a show that's just the cringiest, most bullshit show you've ever seen in your life. For example, they just released the Meghan Markle show. Who's watching that? Who likes Meghan Markle that much? And if it's you, let me know what it is about her that you like so much. I don't even think, like, I don't even know if I'd watch, I don't know. I think, like, none of the royals interest me, so sorry, my phone's going off. That's embarrassing. So unprofessional. Anyway, so it's not even, like, a Meghan Markle issue to me. It's just, like, a who needs that kind of thing. It's like, who's watching the Kardashians? I don't know. It's not me. Also, I have not continued to watch Love is Blind since last time I updated you. I think I'm on like episode 5. But I have heard from my friend that it gets pretty spicy. Pretty crazy. So, we'll see. We'll see if I keep watching it. I don't know. My tolerance for shows nowadays is so low. Like, I feel like most characters and like shows, I guess not even the characters, the people who like produce the show are so committed to just like setting that shit on fire. Like, they don't care. They don't care. We did like Squid Game season 2 though. There was a fun little plot twist that kind of shook it up, made it interesting. And so I'm a little curious to see where that one goes. I thought that was kind of fun. But yeah, I don't know. We haven't really watched anything. We haven't really watched any movies recently. I'm watching Severance. I'm on episode 3 or 4 of season 2. That one's really good. If you have Apple TV, you should watch Severance. I think it was called Masters of the Air. That one was pretty good too. Except for the one guy who cheated on his wife. Fuck that guy in particular. Anyway. Yeah, I've been watching Severance. Severance is really good. I really like Severance. That was a show that, like, when it came out, I saw a bunch of ads for it and stuff. But I didn't really, like, get into it. Like, it didn't really pique my interest. And then I saw an edit that was so diabolical and good on TikTok for that show that I was like, I have to watch that. I have to know what it's about. And it's good. It's very good. So yeah, there's a recommendation. We're also rewatching Punisher, like Marvel Punisher, which it is good. It is a good show. I think I watched like half a season of Daredevil, but I never finished Daredevil. But I was really into Punisher when Punisher came out. I watched a lot of the Punisher show. But Van had never seen it, so we're kind of going through that one a little bit. He's watching Breaking Bad, which is another show that just kind of got boring for me after a while. Like, it was just the same thing over and over again. Yeah, I don't know. It has its moments. I've heard about the Fly episode that's just an episode about a fly. I need to watch that part probably because I keep hearing about it. People keep talking about it, and by people I mean Waffles keeps talking about it, but I don't know. I should watch a clip or something just to get a grasp of what that episode is about. I don't know. I feel like TV and movies nowadays are just, I sound so old, but TV and movie, they just don't interest me. Most of them are just not like exciting projects or things that I like look forward to watching and engaging with. Wow, we're kind of ending this episode on a wee bit of a downer. Sorry guys. Sorry I'm miserable and not don't know what to watch. No, I'm not miserable. I'm vibing, actually. If I do say so myself. Anyway, yeah. So I guess that's that. I don't really have anything else to say except I hope you have a good week. And I hope you're looking forward to this book of the month as much as I am. So, thanks for hanging out. Later, guys.